Hello everyone, this is Steve, the Classic Comics Man. Long time no see, or no call myself by that name, right? I was preparing to reopen the Classic Comics Man channel on YouTube. Primarily, well, to review old comics and stuff like that, and just express my love for the medium of comics and all the great talents and legends. Steve Ditko passed away recently, a man who influenced me so much and so many other people. But I was planning to reopen that channel, but YouTube's been having well, I had problems with YouTube. It's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, and I gave up on it. So I decided to, instead of reopening another channel on YouTube, I'm gonna incorporate the Classic Comics Man into my regular channel now. Since I closed out the Loathy Daddy channel, the channel that I had since 2006, and reopened the new channel under my real name, which is Jack Kirby. I mean, what's my name? Steve Keeter. But anyway, the influence is there, of course. But since I did that, I haven't gotten a lot of subscribers. People aren't, the thrill is gone with YouTube. People aren't into it as much anymore. Where I once had 3,000 subscribers, now I have like 60-some. So subscribe to my channel. Click on that subscribe link and show your support if you would. You're not just supporting me. I'm going to be talking about classic comics, and I'm going to be talking about the United Fanzine Organization, the UFO, the group that I've been a part of for decades, many decades. And so, support me, support comics, and subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Tell your mom and dad, subscribe. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, well, I'm out for a walk here, or bicycle ride actually. My bike's right over there, okay? We're on a very busy street, International Drive in Orlando. It's one of the busiest tourist streets, tourist trap streets in Orlando. A lot of shops and restaurants and just gift shop, tourist stuff all up and down this street. And I happen to live on this street. Where I live is in a little bit more of a residential area. And I live down that way somewhere, okay? But right now we're here. We're looking at this lake. And this lake, I don't see any gators, but I saw alligator tonight. They're down a little ways down there. That's a Marriott Vacation Club there, and right next to that, there's a big lake on the other side there, and it's got alligators in it, folks. I've seen them with my own eyes, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're going to talk about. I'm rededicating myself to the support of the love and enjoyment and expressing that to other people who love exactly what I love, which is comics, and classic comics in particular. And we're gonna focus a lot on the United Fanzine Organization comics. People who are members of that group, like my old pal Ian Shires, who publishes Time TRVLR. Here it is. It used to be called Herman Hanks Time TRVLR. And I got several issues out here. And it's kind of hard to hold the camera and show all this stuff. I can tell you, it's a really unique and complex story that's gone on for years and years and years. It involves, oh my gosh, other dimensions and alternate realities and all kinds of stuff. Really complex and really great done, a lot of fun. This guy here is the Flaming Hot Dog. Can you see that? Can you see that? Hard to hold this camera, like I say. I'm standing outside here. One hand on the camera, one hand on these books, but it's the Flaming Hot Dog. Ian, because the story is so complex, is putting the characters, a little bit of information about the characters in the front. Okay? So, let's see if I can turn this screen around here, because you're just looking at a bunch of nonsense right now. It's starting to get dark too, so I'll just really quickly mention this. Whew. The Overseer. A computer construct built by Herman Hanks. That's Herman Hanks, time traveler, folks. At the center of time. Herman Hanks, the first time traveler, here we are, to discover the multiverse time fields. Yes, he is a penguin, and he's the star of our show. We mentioned the Flaming Hot Dog. He's from, says here he's from his own personal pocket dimension. Robert Seymour, this guy's in here. He's kind of like you or me. He's just somehow he got involved in the story, and he doesn't know why he's there or what. Marvin, that's this guy. Yep, with this mask. Marvin joined the original Time Guardians by accident when he found a strange amulet. So if you find a strange amulet, folks, you're going to end up looking like this. Well, you know, Ian, over all these years, and this stuff's been going on since way back in like the 70s and 80s. Ian's been doing these comics for a long time. Did you start in the 70s or the 80s? It was a long time ago, Ian. You've been around, you're like me, you're getting to be an old fogey, but a lovable old fogey, just like me. Yeah, you know, it's like, even when you fart, people forgive you because you're old and you're lovable. What'd I just say? I didn't say that. Yeah, so, okay, there you are, there you are, there's Herman Hanks, okay? Herm, you betcha. So these are great comics, and it's also got Ian's poetry and the words to his songs, which is really moving and really nice stuff. So, now I'm starting out the new classic comics. Oh, there's even an appearance by Satan, or an alternate universe version of Satan. Anyway, but yeah, all kinds of cool stuff goes on in these comics, and they're a lot of fun. So if you want to know how to order these, send me a message, send me a personal message, and I'll send you the ordering info. Yeah, and I'm gonna close this now because I got to get home, and you know, I'll switch to where am I at? Here I am. I can't see. You know what? Awkward. No gators, no gators. Only comic books. That's all we need, folks. So I'm going to I'll be reviewing some other stuff, and I got to edit this video together. But this is only the beginning, and it starts with you, Ian. Love you, pal. And okay, we'll move on to the next segment. Okay? Huh? What? What? Oh, I just had to put that in there because well, that's Phoebe. That's the woman I'm madly in love with. Yeah. So I want to spend the rest of my life with her, and she's gorgeous. Don't you agree? Yep. I got pictures of her all over the place because I am really nuts about her. Yep. Here we are at the Orlando Eye. It's a big giant Ferris wheel thing. I know that they have it take you way up really high, but unlike a Ferris wheel, it goes really slow. So you can see the sights for miles and miles and miles in Orlando. And it's pretty darn cool. But where were we? Oh yeah, the classic comics, man. We're back. I'm going to start reviewing a lot of comics. Old comics, new comics. So this is a reintroduction video. I'm out of breath because I got off my bike and I ran inside. And yeah, I mean, there's just some stuff I got here on the table just because I'm excited. I don't know where to start and where to go. Well, I know where I want to go. I want to review some of your UFO fansies, you guys in the UFO. I got something from Alan Systems, Larry Blake, we love Larry Blake, and I hope you're doing well, Larry, if you get to see this video. Larry Johnson sent me an online zine, and so did Jim Main, and I heard Jim's going to be reviving Main Lines, a great zine, but it's going to be a PDF only, so you'll only be able to see it online, but we're looking forward to that. Things have really changed. Over the years. If and when I start publishing again, I will be publishing probably the same thing, PDF zines, online, internet comics, but I'll also print comics up on demand, just using the computer, because I'm not going to get all elaborate with the POD thing. I'm just going to do it simple as I've always done, simple and basic and from the heart. So I do have an idea, but Jim Main especially won't believe me because it's been so long since I published anything. But don't forget it. This video is going to be really long. I don't want it to be. I want this to be a reintroduction, and we're going to be getting into a lot of stuff soon. Ant-Man's really big at the theaters right now, and I have this, which came out, I don't know, 15 or 20 years ago. The Astonishing Ant-Man, Tales to Astonish number 27 through and 35 and 6. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Don Heck, and friends. It's all in black and white, unfortunately, but it's still, you know, all the stories. Hank Pym and Janet Pym, and you know, everything that happened with Ant-Man and the Wasp is here. Here's some obvious Don Heck art, obvious to those of us who knew and loved the great Don Heck. Here we got some Kirby. An origin story. Here's the Astonishing Ant-Man Part 2, and there he is. And you know, it's kind of interesting because, you know, Ant-Man faded away so many years ago, way back in the late 60s, and they brought him back as Goliath and Yellow Jacket and all that. And but it's interesting to me that this character that Marvel had a great character. They didn't really know what to do with him. They kept playing around with him, and all these decades later, here's the Human Top, great villain. All these years later, Ant-Man becomes a huge hit on the big screen. Kind of interesting to me. And you know, I love the Marvel comics, the Marvel universe on the big screen. You know, I just think they're doing a fabulous job. They've got everything. They got an emphasis in a way on the old original comics. A lot of stuff just like it was in the 60s, but they also have modernized the characters. Fascinating what they're doing, and they're just doing a great job at it. When I was a kid, we could only dream. You know, we had George Reeves lying on a table or suspended by wires. We never dreamed that there'd be great comics like this with incredible special effects. We're really blessed. It's amazing, and I'm glad I lived to see that all these years later. So just some stuff I threw on the table here just really quick to show you my nostalgia right now. Hot Stuff, The Little Devil, 110 classic stories from 1957 to 1966. Hot Stuff, in black and white, right? The Little Devil, but guess what? My shadow is getting in the way, right? But guess what? Somewhere in here, I think it's in the middle, we got some color comics. Yay! I need to get over here. Where's that light coming from? Yep, Hot Stuff. So these were great Herbie comics. Herbie did some really cool stuff, some really amazing stuff. We just thought of them as kid comics in those days, but yeah, the stuff they did, they had some really zany, crazy characters, and they were offbeat. Casper the Friendly Ghost, and Little Lotta, you know, and Little Dot, and Hot Stuff. I mean, there was a lot of stuff. They're interesting. The concepts, the ideas they came up with. This was interesting, and I have several volumes of this. This is volume 3 of the reprint series of Herbie, the Fat Fury. Guess what? Glorious, glorious full cover with that great Ogden Whitney art. You may say, well, Ogden Whitney wasn't a great artist in the vein of Neil Adams or Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko, but you know, he was perfect for this character. He was perfect, and his comics, you know, you know, he really, it's just, what can I say about Herbie? We're going to get into Herbie a little later. I put a picture on Facebook of my fiance, Bibi, and I, and we're holding up Herbie reprints, and, you know, these were really offbeat, unusual comics. The Fat Fury, like the underdog who had all the incredible powers, and just really a lot of fun, Now this is interesting to me. This is Mighty Mouse, Santa's Helper, a little great golden book. This says Wonder Books. It says here, this came out like way back in the 1950s. This particular one, it's Christmas, obviously, right? Christmas comic book in golden book form. Wonder Books, New York, published. What it says, story by Felix Chutton, pictures by Chad. Well, who's Chad? I don't know, but he's a pretty good artist. And it's a great little Christmas comic. Copyright. Get my shadow out of the way. I gotta plan this a little better next time. Copyright 1955 by who? Terry Toons Incorporated. Terry Toons presents. And of course, Terry Toons also created Tom Terrific and a lot of other great comics. And well, here it is. It's a Christmas story. Santa and the reindeer are sick, and somebody's got to save Christmas. So you can bet they send a message out. Sending a message out. Who's going to save Christmas? Well, guess who showed up? So yeah, Mighty Mouse saves Christmas, and it's all a wonderful day. But it says here, as I said, it came out in 1955. New long life binding, right? Washable cover even. What does it says? With a washable cover. Long life binding. Well, the binding didn't last forever. But I'm still glad to have this book. Yeah. So anyway, that's your reintroduction to the classic comics, man. And there's a whole lot more coming soon. Whole lot more. So I'm gonna be concentrating a lot on comics. Oh, and I wanna say a kudos to Rob Imes, of course, or Rob Imes, however you pronounce your name, Rob. You got to tell me this one of these days. Is it Imes? Is it Imes? What was it? Looks like Imes, okay? Anyway, for doing a fantastic job as the chairman of the UFO. And amazing that this organization has lasted for all these decades. What do we got? 68, 78, 88, 98, 2008, 2018, 50 years. And I was on board, and I'm so thankful for having had the privilege to be on board for all those years with all these amazing talents. And it started with Carl Gafford and a few other incredible talents. People just making comics at home and distributing them through the mails, and meeting lots of friends and like-minded artists and writers and publishers, and it just spiraled. And who'd have thought it would have lasted this long? When I came along in the early 70s to take over after Carl, well, the group fell apart, okay? And the group collapsed. But I came along in, what was it, 72, 73, and I brought the group back with some inspiration from one of the original BPP members, Chuck Robinson II, who was a friend of mine, personal friend. We lived in Edenton, North Carolina. Actually, he was a teacher, and I was just a student. I was in, like, what, the 8th grade or something? So I was like 14 years old when I became the chairman of the group. And so Jim Main would have been like 1 or 2 years older than me. And well, we had Larry Johnson. We had a lot of great talents. Rob Snyder, who passed away, but Kurt Erickson, the great Kurt Erickson, who kept the group together for so many years in the late 70s. He was a great chairman. And on and on and on. I mean, a lot of people were members of this group, and it continues to this day, amazingly enough. Times have changed. I was concerned that, with the advent of online comics, that the printed page, the printed comics would go by the wayside, but they haven't. I mean, they exist and coexist with comics online. So times have changed, but the UFO continues, and better than ever. It's really a great group. If you want information about how to join the UFO, or how to contact Rob, the current chairman, just send me a personal message and I'll send you that information. I'm gonna let you guys go. Sorry for the long video. Have a great day. Keep reading comics. As you exist in the real world, there's another world, a fantasy world of heroes and villains with great powers and abilities. And I was drawn to that world when I was a kid. Just being a little scrawny guy, I was awestruck by comics and Superman in the early days, and that fascination continues to this day. The classic comics man will be back soon. You guys have a great day. All right, bye-bye.